We've all seen the videos about serialism, and you may be wondering what happened next, or else you wouldn't have clicked on this video unless you're Dr. Ricci. My name is Sierra, and over the next 10 minutes or so, I will explain what happened to serialism briefly. I will start simple and ease you in with some Milton Babbitt, and end with the most serialized composition I've ever seen by Messiaen. Yes, just two, but you will not be disappointed with the amount of control these two men had. So, serialism is the pre-compositional control of the ordering of pitches. Integral serialism, which came after serialism, is the pre-compositional control of other musical elements such as rhythm, dynamics, articulation, register, row form, and timbre, on top of serialized pitch. So historically, what was happening was World War II had just ended in 1945. Schoenberg's classical serialism didn't take off until the war ended. Hitler's regime tried to suppress serialism, which might have added to the rapid post-war spread of serialism. There are three countries where serialism really took root: the United States, France, and Italy. Arnold Schoenberg in 1921 created the 12-tone system, which didn't take off until after the Second World War. He serialized pitches in order to remove what he observed to be the law of repetition. He believed that repeating certain tones creates a tonic, so to take away the concept of tonic, you must remove the idea of repetition. By the late 1940s, composers like Oliver Messiaen, Milton Babbitt, Pierre Boulez, and Luigi Nono serialized rhythm, dynamics, articulation, register, row form, and timbre. So, let's talk about American composer Milton Babbitt. He was one of the leading composers in integral serialism, and one of the first to serialize in some way dynamics. This serialization has absolutely no comparison to the 12 pitch classes, but it was still done in some sort of way. In his three compositions for piano, first movement, his serialization of dynamics looked something like what you see on the screen. With the prime row, he had the dynamic marking of mezzo piano, retrograde, mezzo forte, inversion, forte, and retrograde inversion, piano. And that's how he serialized dynamics, is in relation to his rows. But he also serialized rhythm in that same composition. He determined that the rhythm would be organized around the number series 5, 1, 4, 2, and it sums to 12. This creates a durational set, and each number has certain rhythmic values infused in. So if there's for the first one 5, you would have 5 notes for that set, and then 1, and then 4, and then 2, and repeat. But how do we invert this? Well, Babbitt decides to subtract each of those numbers from 6 to get the inversion, which is 1, 5, 2, 4. And retrograde inversion is simple, just flip it and reverse it. So let's look at it in context. These are measures 49 through 52 of his first movement. As we can see in the right hand, in measures 49 and 50, the prime form is there. We have 5, then 1, then 4, and 2. And in the left hand, we have the retrograde inversion. We have 4, 2, 5, 1. In measures 51 and 52, we have the retrograde inversion in the right hand. 4251, and inversion in the left. So just to throw this out there, look at the serialized dynamics also present in this. And it's almost like there's total serialization. But this isn't the extreme. French composer Oliver Messiaen in 1949 composed his 4 rhythmic etudes for piano, and we will take a look at the second movement. This movement is titled, and pardon my French, Mode de valeur et d'intensités. The first serial technique Messiaen used was the original serialization of pitches, except times 3. He had used a pitch structure based on 36 tones and set up 3 sets of 12, and a fancy way of saying that is 3 dodecaphonic series. Not only was he specific about these 3 sets, no. The overall contour had a sort of curve that is created through interval content. Messiaen placed intervals of fourths and tritones in the outer edges, while progressively narrowing the intervals as we go towards the middle. He also uses the 3 dodecaphonic sets to serialize registers, since each set takes place in a different register. So far, Messiaen serialized pitch, intervals, and register in this one movement. And he didn't stop there. Messiaen serialized rhythm, and he did it in more than just rhythm itself. It's actually connected to intensity of duration. If rhythm can be described as chromatic, that is the rhythm row that Messiaen used. As we can see, starting with 1, as he goes up to 2, he goes up chromatically, air quotes, in rhythm all the way to 24. Then he has 3 different rows he uses, and they actually rhythmically vary by just a smidge, and arrhythmically they just create a simple progression. The last elements of music Messiaen serialized are dynamics and articulation, the intensity, and attack. For dynamics, he used the row of 7, starting at pianissimo, and working all the way up to fortissimo, skipping mezzo piano. The row Messiaen uses for attack is a row of 12. He uses articulations that you see on the screen, but I have said way too many words without actual music, and this is about music, so I'm going to play some. Just listen to this, the beginning part of Messiaen's second movement. thought that sounded like abstract art. It is. Messiaen controlled mathematically every aspect of music, from the pitches used to the articulation and dynamics. He serialized register and intervals, rhythm, and the intensity of it. So, integral serialism is the pre-compositional control of other musical elements such as rhythm, dynamic, articulation, register, row form, and timbre. It is total control, mathematically influenced to the core. What came after this strict total control? Freedom with the spontaneity of serialism. Thank you.